Welcome to a freezing and windy day in the Peak District, but we've got a stunning view behind us and we've got these two cars to discuss if newer is always better. Over the last 20 years, the supercar has evolved at such a rate with the advancement in technologies and pursuit of lap times, and cars in general these days are getting so fast that 600 horsepower in a family estate doesn't seem all that wild anymore. And supercars like the Huracan with sub 3 second 0 to 60 times, if you wanted to, you could drive them every day, even on a freezing cold day like today. But what we want to discuss is, have they lost something in the process? Representing the digital era, we have a 2017 Lamborghini Huracan, and from way back in 2007, we have a Porsche 997 GT3 representing the analog era. So we're going to drive both cars back to back out on the road, discuss the evolution of the supercar and find out, is newer always better? With the Geneva Motor Show approaching, we all find ourselves eagerly awaiting the latest and greatest from all the manufacturers, including this car's replacement, the Huracan Evo. And we always assume that the latest version will be the best version, but we don't think that's always the case anymore. See, modern supercars are becoming so fast, and such is the demand for them that they have to be easy to drive for everyone, and the Huracan is a prime example of that. The engine though is spectacular in this car. That's something that this all shares with the older generation. It's a naturally aspirated V10, it sounds mega. The response is amazing, it pulls anywhere. It does pay to rev it out, but you don't need to, it just really goes straight away. The gearbox is mega. I mean, it shifts so quickly and seamlessly. But that's what makes it a little bit easy to drive fast. And like so many modern supercars, there are different modes you can use, so if you put this in Strada, you could daily this through London traffic, no problem. It's smooth, it's quiet, you can stick it in automatic mode even. And, I know this is bizarre in a Lamborghini, but it has start-stop as well. So that's the first thing you switch off when you get in. But should you really be able to daily Lamborghini through London? I'm not sure you should. We're in the fortunate position of being around these cars quite often, so we do get used to them. And maybe that's why we're not so keen on them being so civilised. Because we want them to feel special, don't we? That's why you buy a supercar. One great thing about the Huracan, it would make the perfect first supercar. Because it is so fast. It gives you all the theatre and the sounds you want from a supercar. But as well as that, it's got four-wheel drive. The traction is amazing. It's not going to bite you. It's really easy to drive fast. But sometimes that can be its biggest downfall. It's a bit too civilised. It's all a bit too easy. There's no denying that each generation of supercar now is way faster and way more capable than those that came before. But when given the choice, we always want to pick the older car. Say when we have the chance to drive a Challenge Stradale, a Scuderia, a Speciale or a Pista, we find ourselves fighting over the keys for the Challenge Stradale. Just for the noise, just for how you can enjoy it at more sensible speeds. Let's get lit. This is how easy it is to go fast in a Huracan. That said, here we are in the GT3. This car is from 10 years before the Huracan, and the differences are massive. Now I know it's not strictly fair to compare a GT3 to a Huracan, so if we compare this car to a new GT3 even, you can get that car with a manual, but it's still a very different car. There's a lot more modern technology now that we've got more advanced suspension, four-wheel steering, and it blips the downshift for you if you want it to. This, you have to do everything yourself. The thing I like about this car is there aren't too many nannying electrics. There is traction control, but you literally press one button and that's it, it's off. Now the biggest difference jumping from the Huracan into this is the steering. The steering has so much feel in this, it's just so nicely weighted, and it feels natural. The clutch is heavy, the gearbox, it's so nicely weighted. You have to put some real effort into moving it, and unlike the Huracan, it's not a car you can end up going crazy fast in without meaning to. You actually have to put some effort into this. You actually have to concentrate when you're driving it fast. It's not a hard car to drive by any means, but you just have to be aware of the weight balance when you're going into a corner, because I think if you go in too hot in this car, it's something that will bite. You know, if the road's a little bit muddy, if there are some leaves on there, it's just a car that makes you treat it with respect, but it rewards your efforts as well. It's so exciting to drive, and it's not all about the speed. It is still a fast car, this, to be honest, but 415 after 610 in the Huracan, it is down quite a bit, but it's just about how it makes you feel. You know, you can go slowly in this car and enjoy it just because of how it feels, how the gearbox feels, how the steering feels, how it sounds. Obviously, a car like this isn't for everyone, and really it just comes down to what you want from a supercar. Both the old generation and the newer generation have their place, and the newer generation are just more usable more of the time. But for those days when you just want to get out on a country road and go for a proper blast, we don't think there's any substitute for something like a 997 GT3. So that is the end of a fantastic day driving these two cars with an incredible sunset in the background. And what we've taken from today is that both cars do have their place. There's no denying that the newer stuff is more usable more of the time, but for us that comes at the expense of some of the excitement and involvement that we really look for in a supercar. We want to know what you think as well, so either comment below or head over to our Instagram and join the debate.